Back. It's the Borders and Borders hotline of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani, Andrew Fillipponi with you tonight. You see the number. We got a lot of tweets here. Rob Gateway, thank you very much for this. He says, do you think Milwaukee or Toronto can win the NBA championship? I think Golden State's going to win the NBA championship with or without Kevin Durant. Real quick, Pony, your thought on that, because I thought without him the other night against Houston on the road, they flashed back to when they had him or didn't have him before in 2016 when they won championship, and it was Curry and Thompson leading the way. They play fundamentally great basketball, maybe more so without Durant.
Well, I went into this tournament thinking it was fait accompli, that Golden State was just going to cakewalk their way to an NBA championship. But just like you did midstream through the Stanley Cup playoff, Bobs, I'm allowed to change my mind, right?
Sure, absolutely.
So I'm going to say Milwaukee, and here's why I'm going to say that. Because they're the only team this season that was top 5 in both offense and defense. They're the most balanced team. They won the most games in the NBA this year. They have, for me, the best player in the NBA in Giannis, and they have the most blowout wins. So they've proven over the course of 82 games that they were much better than the competition on a night-in, night-out basis.
But they can't handle 7 games in Golden State, I don't think. Although I think Portland
Durant's not healthy.
It doesn't matter. They still can't handle them. I still think they're a better team even without Durant. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, we'll talk more about that. We're going to rattle off some calls.
Okay.
And we have an interesting John Daly story that's making news on the PGA Championship week, which has moved up. Let's go out to Bob in Clearfield. Bob, go ahead. How are you?
Bob.
Hi, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
The Pirates should be commended for the success they've enjoyed thus far, despite all the adversity.
I agree.
Through. But he said the deficiencies overall will still be there, and it may result in not being really much in terms of a contender. But there's another deficiency that should not be overlooked. The Pirates have never brought through their minor league system an innings-eating, top of the rotation, left-handed power pitcher since John Smiley 30 years ago. Brault, to me, said, is a soft tosser masquerading as a power pitcher, given it seems like he's willing, you said, to sacrifice command in exchange for a more MPH on his fastball.
Now, that's a good observation. They haven't. And quite frankly, position players have been not much of a premium either, even though Josh Bell is now doing what you would expect, and they made a nice play to get him back in the draft for a second-round pick that nobody thought they would do and gave him a ton of money. But they don't have enough of that. Thanks, Bob, for the call. And, Andrew, they need more. If they're going to do what they do, which is don't spend big in free agency, then you better darn well draft better than they've drafted and develop better than they've developed.
I agree with that 100%. They traded for Francisco Liriano, and that gave them a power left-handed arm the last time they made the playoffs. Brault was a throw-in a Travis Snyder no-name trade from 5 years ago. I never expected him to pan out. This team's going to have to win with pitching, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. And I know this is somewhat controversial, but for me, Tyone has not been a good pick. I mean, they sandwiched him in between, Bryce Harper and Manny Machado?
Bryce Harper and Machado, both. And at the time, even though he had high upside and people, you didn't know. But what you do now know, you can look back and say, okay, that pick was available. Machado, at least, was available. Bryce Harper went ahead.
Chris Sale was available in that
Chris
draft.
Sale, there were a lot of guys.
Christian Yelich went in that first round.
But I still think there have been a lot, it's hard luck kind of thing with Tyone, with cancer, with all the stuff he's gone through. I still think he has what it takes, and hopefully he'll get it together.
No doubt, but that's part of the evaluation of a player. If you can't stay healthy, we don't know. Senquez Golson might have turned into Darryl Green, but he couldn't get on the field for the Steelers.
But you can't say that you didn't. How can you put that as part of?
You cannot. You can't predict. Well, in certain guys, maybe they're smaller, they've got an injury history in high school or college, and you can predict those things. But to the best of our knowledge, Tyone was not someone whose amateur career was defined by injury.
Bill in Greensburg, you're up. What's up, Bill? How are you?
Hi, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Hi, Bill.
Couple quick comments, guys. Number one, Clint Hurdle and his GM have to realize that victories in May are just as important as victories in September.
Especially for them.
Once you lose the wild card by 1 game in September, you're gonna say, well, that's just the way it goes. No, you got to win in May as much as you have to win in
I totally agree.
September.
I agree.
Yeah, and especially that game against that team in that situation. That's not your normal, well, we just lost 7-2. You're up 6-2 with basically 4 outs left. And you have to go after that no matter what, I think.
And, Bob, think about this, too. They didn't need Vasquez the next day because they got blown out. They didn't need him today either. So it's not like they saved him for 4 games in St. Louis. The reason why you took 3 out of 4 is because you had your closer get 3 outs or more in every single one of those games. So it was not as if Vasquez had pitched in like 5 straight games.
No,
and
he
you
didn't.
probably only needed him for 1 out.
I would have done it for 1 out. I would have done it. It was too big. And quite frankly, he has a pretty good history against Hunter Pence, so I would have taken that matchup instead of what I saw. Line 4 we go, and that's going to be Chuck in Uniontown. Chuck, go ahead, please.
Good evening, fellas.
Hi.
Happy Mother's Day to all. Yeah. You know, the Pirates, there is no law on the books that says the Pirates can't compete, can't have a good road trip, can't stay in the race, can't compete for postseason play. But they're going to have to stop repeating the mistakes of the past, you know, just like that Wednesday game against Texas. I'll just say it this way. If the Pirates would try to think postseason play in a championship, it's not a snake. It's not going to bite them. You know, they can't seem to stand prosperity. They get to the precipice of
I mean, Chuck, to your point, they did that when they won 3 straight postseasons and got to the wild card. I appreciate it. Thanks, Chuck, for the call. Always do appreciate your opinion. But they could have taken that to another level. They could have said, look, we have things going here right now. Let's pile on. Let's go after more. And instead, they let a guy like Happ go. They didn't even bother with him. Not that he's going to be the greatest thing, but he had a 21-win season the following year, or things like that. Just spend a
I just don't get how they're concerned about wear and tear on a pitcher when they lead the league in the most days off the first 2 months of the season.
They do.
They've had more rest than any team in baseball. So it's not like they're in the middle of this demanding, grueling, taxing middle of summer. They're playing every game in 95-degree weather. These guys are as fresh as it gets. So why? I mean, they're living in their fears, right? I mean, it's the old Mike Tomlin expression. If the Pirates ran the Steelers, they would have yanked, James Conner out of the game after 10 touches. You have to, in this situation, when you are still very much alive, do everything you can, I believe, to win the game that is in front of you today and worry about tomorrow.
And just remember last year, Felipe Vasquez pitched 5 out of 6 days.
Yes,
so there are exactly. So there's no reason to think he can't get another one batter in a safe situation like that. I just thought that was just too much of an easy move that they did not make. All right, let's go to Pete in Squirrel Hill. Hey, Pete, how are you?
Hi, Pete.
Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
We're good.
Pretty good.
Thanks.
Hey, Bob, let me ask you guys a question. Why do managers in this current state of baseball manage the game totally opposite of the way it was designed to be managed and managed for over 120 years?
Money.
Case in point, Friday night Cardinal-Pirate game. 2-1 Pirates, bottom of the 8th. The Cardinals first and third, nobody out. 2 left-handed batters coming up. The Pirates are in a shift. Have one guy on the third base side of second base. Why doesn't the manager lay down a bunt to get that run home to tie it and take it from here? It makes no sense, Bob. Can you explain that to me?
I saw something today that I don't like, and the Cardinals do it, but they're not the only team to do it. It's when they had a shift on for Josh Bell, I believe it was, who got a real dribbler. They put Jed Jerko over to where the shortstop should have been. If you're going to shift this dramatically, jumping over where the shortstop was instead of moving the shortstop. A lot of teams do that. I don't understand why that is. Why would you take him and put him there and the shortstop remains where he is if you believe he's going to pull? But if he's going to pull the ball, you want your shortstop to the second base side.
Right, but they've got all, it's paralysis by analysis. They've got this information that tells them that the ball never gets hit over there by the player, is what they do. They play percentages. They've got a stat and an analytic on every single thing nowadays, and it's helped turn hits into outs. The Pirates are one of the first teams to start shifting, and it helped them make the playoffs in 2013, but it also belies just common sense sometimes.
It does. And I think if, every now and then a bunt would be good, but, even learning to hit the other way would really neutralize that, but that's a whole other story that players don't want to go through. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to get into that daily story in the golf, because it's going to be something you'll be seeing this week that you've never seen before. More calls on the way as well, right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.